We are currently rolling. Yes, we are. Hey, weirdos, I'm back. It took me a little while longer to make a video because video cameras are a pain in the ass, and I've been sick the past few days. But I first off want to thank everybody for actually subscribing the first channel, like 30 something after the first video, so that's actually something I can be proud of. Alright, on to the next topic of discussion now that I got the formalities out of the way. So since I promised myself I would make a YouTube channel, I also promised myself if I did, I'd be talking about this guy. So this is Janick Gers of Iron Maiden we're talking about here. Um, a little rundown of how he got there. Like, guitar legend Adrian Smith left the band. He took the reins, filling the gaps, and they kept him after Adrian came back. So Maiden is a three guitar band. Not very orthodox to a lot of metalheads and guitar enthusiasts, but they make it work. They're still touring, they're still writing music, they're still influencing people. You know, no big deal, right? Unfortunately, there's some people out there that don't really like this guy. Um, Usually, some of the reasons I'm still very confused over, or sometimes people can be very annoying about it. So I just want to talk about it and not actually blow it out of proportion like I would have probably used to. But again, I promised myself I would make a video talking about this dude. So yeah, some of the weird ass complaints I hear about this dude, it's he should have left when Adrian came back. His dancing's a big distraction. His guitar is not plugged in. That's another one I keep hearing. Or he's just an overall sloppy shredder. Uh, Something like that. Maybe I'm forgetting some other weird comments, but this is what I commonly hear the most in the Maiden fan base. Well, I know he first joined the band because he knew the big guys, and they were looking for somebody, and Janick was already playing in Bruce's solo bands at that time, so I guess that's how he got the gig. And he and Bruce knew each other forever, but that's just kind of a dynamic that most music scenes have. When they're down a member and they know everybody else outside of other bands, Lee Altus and Exodus, before he joined Exodus, he still knew the guys for a long ass time, and he was just an heathen. And then when Rick Hunolt left, they thought he would be a good replacement, and that's how he joined the band. And Terry Butler didn't join Obituary just out of random. He knew the guys as well for a pretty long time. And I'm just throwing in a couple examples. So yeah, same with Janick. And I can understand, the confusion. If I was a teenager back in the 80s and I admired Adrian, Adrian really is a fucking guitar legend. But if I saw what Janick was on stage with these guys, during that tour for No Prayer for the Dying, I was like, okay, who the fuck is this guy? I'm confused. What's going on here? Something like that. But, 30 years later, I guess I would have gotten used to him by now. Maybe he would have grown on me, or maybe not. I think another thing about people constantly saying that the dancing is a distraction, it's understandable, too. Not every, musician can, stand in, one position and just strum their instrument the whole time. Maybe Yannick's a little more hyper, let the adrenaline speak for itself. Even if, the bandmates have a problem, it doesn't seem to be as much of a bother. I don't know. I've never actually met any of the band except for Bruce, but whatever. And the idea of he's a sloppy shredder or just not plugged in, that just sounds silly. The way Maiden's been presenting themselves as a band the past years, whether or not you like the Blaze Bayley era in the 90s, or whether or not you like the classic stuff more than the newer stuff. You can look deep into the way they write the music, and you can definitely tell that these guys fucking know what they're doing when they're writing music. You don't have to like the newer stuff in comparison to the older stuff. If the older stuff are keeping dear to your heart, that's fine. And, they also do a very good job reading new life into the classics when they play these songs on tour. I mean, why in God's name would people assume that Janick is not plugged in? Come on. Okay, I'm getting a little carried away here. But, that kind of stuff. So, in other words, yeah, the band seems to know what they're doing. And Janick actually has written some really awesome songs since you've joined. Be Quick or Be Dead is one. Lord of the Flies. Whether or not you like the Blaze Bayley era, it's still a good song. Dance to Death's a good one. The Legacy. I know he also co-wrote The Pilgrim, Talisman, Alchemist, Wasting Love, Book of Souls. I'm probably gonna forget a couple, but you get the points. So, why are people really that mad? Well, I think I can also understand, going back to like thinking who the hell was he if I grew up in the 80s, or maybe he just wasn't part of like the classic era. I mean, a lot of bands that's been around forever, like a lot of the fans will associate them more with their older stuff than their newer stuff. Janick didn't join until 1990. So, of course, like, he's kind of overlooked. As for his guitar playing style, I personally like it myself. I play guitar myself. I like him a lot for his style. His style's definitely pretty edgy. He himself says, edgy, rough, and ready. He's not a huge fan of effects, which, I mean, I think is pretty cool. Because, I mean, if he's still, like, playing in such an unorthodox way, he's still an Iron Maiden, gives us hope for some of us other, like, sloppy shredders out there that's always afraid of the haters hating on their guitar playing style. Come on. I mean, that's pretty cool, if you ask me. But if you actually listen deep into, like, his isolated tracks, especially, like, when they play live, his guitar playing style sounds a little similar to, like, a lot of old school extreme bands. Like, imagine him playing in a band in the vein of, like, Bathory, Celtic Frost, or Dismember. Like, that would be really cool, if you ask me. And, yeah. And I'm not sure if he would like those kind of bands, but I could, that connection's pretty cool. And to have something like that in Maiden, while Maiden is still writing amazing songs, I don't think Janick still being in the band is a problem at all. And yeah, another thing here though too, like Maiden is still Steve's band. Steve actually had a vision of wanting 3 guitarists. It's actually is written in Bruce's autobiography during the part where he and Adrian came back. Actual source, believe me. And not very traditional, I know, again, but that's what he wanted. And for Iron Maiden, who could do the job better than Murray, Smith, and Gers? Like, come on. And, change is inevitable in bands. We can love bands the way we want to see them, but I mean, we really don't have any say in what goes on in, like, the personal lives of the bands and whatever. They still seem to get along very well. If you've seen them live, like, the past, like, 10 years or more, like, there's, like, a total, like, camaraderie going on. They love working with each other. They love interacting with the audience. They obviously love doing what they're doing. So, what a thing. And if we're going to be laughing at Janick doing all that crazy antics on stage, I mean, have you seen Bruce do stuff? I mean, I swear, like, from all these, like, live footage of him from, like, the past few tours, like, he's just fooling around with his bandmates. Like, somebody put a bra on stage, and he just, like, took it, and he just, like, covered Adrian's eyes with it. Or then, like, he would just, like, look to the crowd, and he's like, who was brought into this? Oh, is it yours, sir? That's what he does, Bruce comes in, like, really crazy costumes, You know, like the whole this thing during Death or Glory. Is that like not silly? Or I think that one time like Bruce threw most of his clothes into the audience like during the last show for the Book of Souls tour. I mean, people don't seem to bat an eye in comparison to everybody else complaining about Janick. Yeah, Bruce is a front man. He's got charisma, you know, that kind of stuff. But, you know, doesn't mean the other bandmates shouldn't have fun, too. And I think Janick brings a certain kind of energy to the bands that's as absurd as it looks to other people. Like, it works for them. So, yeah. Anyway, I did my best to rant the best I can about this thing. If this video doesn't change your mind about Janick, that's fine too. I completely understand. Or at least I'll try to, but as long as we're not like fighting each other in the fan base over which guitarist is better. It's Maiden. They're still here. They're still being awesome. And they're coming to a venue near you one day. I mean, by the way, I'm actually going to see them this summer. It's going to be awesome. I can't fucking wait! Yes! But yeah, hope you enjoyed this little video, and see you later, weirdos.